While most American cities reached for the sky, San Diego refused. Sitting where California meets Mexico, with 70 miles of coastline and gentle hills shaped by the ocean, it quietly became one of the nation's biggest cities, yet never crowded or vertical. What force kept growth horizontal? And why does this deliberate choice matter more than most realize? The real story begins with the land itself. San Diego stretches along the edge of California like a long, gentle arc, hugging the Pacific for 70 miles. The city's foundation is a wide coastal bowl, a landscape shaped by the meeting of land and water. To the west, the shoreline is rarely straight. It folds into bays and coves, most notably the broad sweep of San Diego Bay, which curves deep inland and forms a natural harbor. This bay has always provided shelter from the open ocean, making it a magnet for ships and people looking for a safe landing. The city itself covers 325 square miles, but it never feels boxed in. Instead, neighborhoods spread out along the coast and climb the low hills that rise behind the water. Some of these hills reach up to 1,500 feet, offering sweeping views of the city, the bay, and, on clear days, the distant mountains to the east. These elevations break up the flatness, creating pockets of sunlight and shadow, and shaping how people move through the city. San Diego's terrain is a patchwork of mesas, canyons, and valleys, each one influencing where roads, houses, and parks could take root. The land's openness is always present. Even in the heart of the city, the horizon feels close at hand, and the ocean is rarely out of sight for long. This geography didn't just shape the city's boundaries, it set the tone for everything that followed. The land invited people to settle, but on its own terms, favoring space and light over vertical ambition. For more than 10,000 years, the Kumeyaay people shaped the land now called San Diego. Their villages clustered near creeks and valleys, and their way of life depended on a deep understanding of the region's rhythms. Controlled burns cleared brush and encouraged new growth, keeping the oak woodlands and grasslands healthy. Seasonal migrations followed the cycles of acorns and wild plants, while stone tools and woven baskets became part of daily life. The landscape, often mistaken by newcomers for untouched wilderness, was in fact carefully managed, its open meadows and clear streams the result of generations of stewardship. Erica Pinto, chairwoman of the Jamal Indian Village, describes this connection simply. Our stories are in the land. Urban expansion buried them, but we reclaim through education. Even as modern San Diego grew, traces of Kumeyaay knowledge survived in the names of canyons and the patterns of wildflowers each spring. Recent efforts led by tribal organizations have revived practices like native plant restoration and cultural education, linking the past to the present. In 1769, Spanish soldiers and missionaries arrived, drawn by the sheltered bay and the promise of a foothold in Alta California. They built the first presidio, a fortified outpost on a hill overlooking the water. Just a few years later, in 1774, the mission moved inland to find better water and farmland. This early pattern of settlement, anchored by geography, not by walls, set the tone for the city's future. Expansion guided by the contours of the land, rather than the urge to build upward. San Diego is a city of more than 1.3 million people, yet it rarely feels crowded. Across the metropolitan area, that number climbs past 3.3 million, placing San Diego among the 10 largest metro regions in the United States. Still, the experience is different here. The population spreads out over neighborhoods that follow the contours of the coast and hills, leaving room for parks, gardens, and open space. This sense of openness is not just a product of geography. It is tied to the city's economic backbone, a balance of industries that support both growth and stability. The military remains a defining presence, with more than 250,000 people directly and indirectly employed by the Navy, Marine Corps, and defense contractors. Bases line the bay and the coast, from Point Loma to Camp Pendleton. Lieutenant Commander Mara Levy, who oversees logistics at Naval Base San Diego, puts it simply: the city and the fleet move together. Our work here shapes the region, and the region shapes us. Science and innovation have also taken root. The biotech sector employs more than 80,000 people, anchored by research giants like Scripps and UC San Diego. Dr. Ana Vargas, a molecular biologist in Torrey Pines, describes the atmosphere as collaborative and open. We share ideas across labs, across industries. It is part of the culture here, progress without pressure. Tourism brings in nearly $11 billion a year, drawing visitors to beaches, parks, and cultural sites. Education is just as vital, with over 70,000 students enrolled at universities and colleges across the city. This mix, defense, science, tourism, education, creates a kind of resilience. San Diego does not rely on a single story or industry. Instead, it is a city that grows by staying balanced, always leaving space for what comes next. Downtown San Diego rises only so far before it stops, as if the skyline itself knows where to draw the line. Since 1979, a 500-foot height cap has limited every new building, from One America Plaza to the latest glass towers. This limit is not just a quirk of local preference. It is written into the city's DNA by the proximity of Lindbergh Field, the city's main airport, only a couple miles from downtown. Federal Aviation Administration rules, known as Part 77, define invisible surfaces above the city that planes must clear as they land, and anything taller than 500 feet risks intruding into that protected airspace. The result is a cityscape that feels open to the sky. Where other cities stack glass and steel into the clouds, San Diego's buildings level off, leaving views of the ocean and the distant mountains unbroken. Along the coast, a separate 30-foot limit passed by voters in the 1970s keeps beach neighborhoods low-slung and sunlit. This is not an accident or a failure of ambition. It is a deliberate choice, reinforced by policy and by the will of the people who live here. The climate gives even more reason to stay grounded. San Diego averages 70 degrees year-round, with more than 300 days of sun. The mild air drifts in from the Pacific and lingers over the city, making outdoor life a constant. People walk, bike, and gather in plazas, parks, and along the waterfront. The city's rhythm slows to match the weather, steady, unhurried, always open to the next clear day. Here, the skyline does not block the sun or the breeze. Instead, it lets the light in, shaping a way of life that is as much about what is not built as what is. 50,000 people cross the border at San Isidro each day, bringing with them a rhythm that shapes daily life on both sides. Spanish and English blend in the air, and the scent of grilled fish tacos drifts from street vendors in Barrio Logan to taquerias near the port. Murals along underpasses tell stories in color, while Dia de los Muertos altars bloom in public squares each fall. Just north of downtown, Balboa Park unfolds across 1,200 acres. A green heart with 17 museums, the San Diego Zoo drawing over 3 million visitors a year, and gardens that offer a quiet counterpoint to the city's constant motion. This is where culture is lived, outdoors, and where the openness of the city finds its clearest expression. Each morning, the shoreline comes alive with quiet rituals. In La Jolla, swimmers slip into coves while sea lions bask on rocks nearby. Mission Beach and Pacific Beach fill with surfers chasing the next set, cyclists weaving along the boardwalk, and volleyball games played on sand that never seems empty for long. Coronado's wide stretch draws families and runners, all sharing space with more than 10 million annual visitors who come not just to see the ocean, but to live alongside it. Here, the beach is never just a destination, it's the backdrop to daily life. San Diego proves that a city's value isn't measured in skyline height, but in how it balances opportunity, nature, and daily life. As urban density debates intensify nationwide, its open horizon offers a working alternative, one that quietly challenges what a modern metropolis can be. Thanks for watching.